Hey guys, Jen Matthews here, Chief Salsa Mama at Salsa Babies. Here's a new episode of Jen's Bubble for you. So what is Jen's Bubble? For those of you who are joining us for the first time this week, Jen's Bubble is anything crazy, weird, silly, inspirational, different that has happened in my life related to being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, and being a leader of phenomenal women in business. I want to share stories with you about things that I've learned within my own bubble in the hopes that it will help you understand things, inspire you. You can go out and help people with information. That's all Jen's Bubble is. Okay, so this episode of Jen's Bubble is called Kick the Guilt. So we all know about mom guilt. We know about work guilt. We know about partner guilt. Oh, I'm not spending enough time with my husband. We also know about personal guilt, right? Self-care. We hear about it all the time. Make sure you take time for self-care. Self-care as a term drives me crazy because so many people think it's about going to the gym or going to get your nails done or your hair done, all those kinds of things. Self-care is so much more than those kinds of things. And the best self-care that you can do most of the time is really just being with yourself and understanding yourself, taking care of yourself. So that doesn't need to mean going to the gym. It might mean going for a walk and getting fresh air and thinking and dreaming. We all experience guilt about everything, all of us. And so I had mom guilt this week, and I've been trying so hard in the last couple of years to kick this. So my kids are 13, 11. No, that's a lie. Oh my gosh, I hope they don't see this. They're 14, 12, and 8. And I've worked really hard to kick this mom guilt because, man, owning a business sometimes, especially with your spouse, where both of you need to be working so that we can feed our families, can sometimes not be so easy when you're raising kids, because I can't just tell my boss, hey, I got to pick up and go. My kid's got to go to the hospital. You know, if I've got a call scheduled with someone in Malaysia who's looking to license, that's how I feed my family. I can't just drop everything and go. I need to take that call at all costs because I need to feed my family. And mom guilt can play into that so heavily. And it happened this week. So my oldest daughter has been struggling with some health issues, and she's a bit of a mystery because what they think it is, she's not showing the signs and symptoms that she should be showing. So they've been running a lot of tests, and we got a call from the emergency room the other day saying, you need to bring your daughter in immediately. It is a massive emergency situation, and we need to be able to monitor her. So personal guilt weighs in because my husband and I have a weekend planned away, and we've already paid for it, and he's taken the leap to plan the whole weekend, which he's never done before. And I just really want to go away because I want this for him. I want him to be able to surprise me. I want all of this. Like, we've been married for 23. We've been together for like 23 years. He's never done this. So personal guilt in that because I just don't want this to impact my weekend away. And then I'm like, mom guilt. Are you crazy? You're saying your daughter needs to go to a emergency room and you're worried about your weekend away? Like, all the guilt was coming in. And then on top of that, I had a call scheduled that I had to take with someone who was interested in joining our team. How do you balance all of that stuff? And the answer is, I don't know. Like, we figure it out day by day as we do it. And so what ended up happening was my husband took her to Emerge. He took her to get all of her tests done. I had to stay home and do my call. And when I was done, I got to go and hang out with them at the hospital. And I got to the hospital, and of course, guilt kicked in again. So I'm sitting in the hospital. My kid is fine. She is healthy. The things that they're saying could be wrong with her, she's not showing any of that. So it's frustrating because it's like, man, I should be at home working and my kid is healthy and people are blowing things out of proportion, and it's frustrating. And then my guilt kicked in because it's like, dude, your kid is fine. You should be at home working. Why aren't you working? People pay you for your role. You should be at home working. And I'm sure many of us have had this, whether you work for yourself or whether you work for someone else. I'm sure you've had that because I've had it many times. A wise soul recently has taught me a new way to break this cycle and to break this habit of really feeling deeply about that guilt. And it's all about the why. So I wanted to share that with you today as well, because this helped me kick my guilt the other day when I was in the hospital with my daughter. So I'm sitting there in the waiting room with her, and she's laughing, she's happy. My husband's, they're joking around with each other. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I should just really be home working. He should just be able to sit here and monitor this by himself. I should be at home working. And then the mom guilt's like, are you nuts? Your kid's in the emergency room. Like, you should be here with her. So I sat there and I thought, okay, why? This is the trick that she taught me. Ask yourself the why. Why do I feel guilty that I'm in the emergency room with my daughter and thinking that I should be at home at work? So it took me a second to think about it. Why do I feel guilty? Well, I feel guilty because my licensees pay me every year to be their leader. Okay, fair enough. Why do you feel guilty about that? Why do you feel guilty that they pay you and you're not there? Okay, so I came to the answer of I feel guilty because I should be there all the time for them, right? If one of them emails me or calls me or needs something, I should be there, right? Well, then I thought for a second, well, no, they don't expect that. They don't expect me to be there at their beck and call. That's crazy. No, that's not the truth. So when you start asking yourself the why, you get to the real root of the problem. And for me, the root of the problem was, well, what if they don't think that I'm working for them, right? I know that to be garbage. They've said so many times what an amazing business and support that we have here. That was me just amping up the drama, shall we say, in my life. And I was able to kick that guilt by using that simple technique. So I encourage you to try that next time. If you are experiencing mom guilt, you have to go to work. Ask yourself the whys. Why do I feel this way? And keep going. They say you should be able to ask yourself probably 5 or 6 times before you actually get to the root of the problem. Asking yourself once or twice, you're kind of only getting to the surface level. Ask yourself up to 6 times and see if you can really get to the why. I guarantee you it will help you kick the guilt. And we are our own worst enemies, right? We are our own worst enemies with the guilt stuff and making ourselves feel worse for living life and making decisions than we need to. It is our own expectations of life, of situations, of being a mom, of work, of taking care of ourselves. It's our own expectations that lead us to feel this guilt. And that's part of healing and growing as a person. Use this technique. Trust me, it will help you. Ask yourself the why. Get to the root of the problem and kick that guilt. You will absolutely love yourself better for it when you can kick it. So use it. Kick the guilt. Have a good week, guys. We'll see you next week for another episode of Jen's Bubble. Bye.